Hi guys, Miss Scott here. I thought I would break this project down for you into some videos to help you out because it's a little bit more complicated, so I think pictures might not be as helpful. So the first thing that I wanted to say was this is the direction that we're heading for the Kehinde Wiley project. So you're going to be doing a self-portrait with some kind of pattern in the background, and the pattern doesn't have to be crazy complicated, but some kind of pattern in the background. So a couple things about that. The portrait part is going to use what's called a monochromatic color scheme, which means that you're going to use just one color. Now, I don't care what that color is. It could be a skin tone color like I did, but it doesn't have to be. It could be blue or purple or red or whatever. It doesn't matter. And then the outside, the border, is going to use an analogous color scheme. So, or the background, I should say, is the analogous color scheme. So we'll talk more about those here in just a minute, but I just wanted to put that out there. So you can do whichever you want. You can go whatever direction that you want as far as the face. You can do skin tone or not skin tone. So setting that aside, I want to dive into talk about color for this first day before we get too far ahead of ourselves with the actual portrait part. So first things first, please put your name at the top of your paper and your teacher. And if you could put it on the front for me, we usually put it on the back in person, but if you could put it on the front so that if you have to take a picture of it on your Chromebook to send it to me, I can easily see who it is. So after you do that, you can draw a circle. The first thing that we're gonna do is a color wheel. So your circle does not have to be perfect, it's just a circle. And we're gonna divide that circle into 6. So if you just put a line through the middle and then an X on top of that, you'll divide your circle into 6 pieces. And they don't have to be perfect. Your intersection doesn't have to be in the middle. None of that matters. As long as you have a circle with 6 pieces. And then we're going to call this the color wheel. My dog is whining. Sorry about that. And then we need to start filling in this color wheel. So I want you guys to actually color in your color wheel. I've got colored pencils and crayons. You need to color it in. Doesn't matter to me what tools you use to color, but color it in. That way you're going to be able to actually see the colors in order to make your analogous color choices later. But for the video, for the sake of making it go faster, I'm just going to write them. So we want to start out by thinking about my primary colors. And you don't have to write these on the side. I'm just doing that for you to help you out. So my primary colors are red, yellow, and blue, as I hope you all know. Now, when I put these on the color wheel, it doesn't really matter where I put them as long as I have a blank space in between each one. So I could do a red, skip one, yellow, skip one, blue, and then there's another blank one. But it doesn't really matter. Blue could have been here, yellow could have been here. It doesn't make any difference. What does matter more, though, is the secondary colors. So my secondary colors are green, purple, and orange. And the way that I figure out where these go on the color wheel is by looking at what's on the 2 sides of an empty space. So I've got red and yellow. If I were to mix red and yellow together, I would get orange. So that's where the orange goes. If I were to mix blue and yellow together, I would get green. So that's where green goes. And if I were to mix red and blue together, I would get purple. So that's where purple goes. Those ones, you have to be more careful about where you put them. The color wheel has to be done correctly in order for you to correctly identify analogous colors. So analogous colors is where we're going to go next. For analogous colors, you can just draw 3 long rectangles. I actually already have this part done for you on a worksheet. So if you have access to a printer, you can get online and just print the worksheet off, and then all you have to do is color. You don't have to draw all of these little boxes and draw the color wheel and all that. You would just have to color everything. So that's an option for you if you have a printer. If you don't, you can just do this. It's not taking very long. Now, to do analogous colors, the analogous colors are 3 colors that touch on the color wheel. So it could be green, blue, and purple. I like those, obviously, that's what I did for mine. You could do blue, purple, and red. You could do red, orange, yellow. It doesn't matter what 3 you choose as long as you do 3. 1, 2, 3. Or it could be 1, 2, 3. Or it could be 1, 2, 3. It doesn't make any difference. but that is an analogous color scheme. So you're gonna pick 3 that you think might be interesting, and again, please color them instead of just labeling them, because I want you to actually be able to see the colors together, put eyes on them. And then the last thing that I want you to do is your monochromatic scheme. Mono meaning one, chromatic meaning color. For this one, you're gonna make a really long rectangle and you're gonna divide it with 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of long. I'm gonna shorten it up a little bit. So that I more or less have 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, a hint for the monochromatic color scheme. You should use whatever color you want to use for your skin tone, for your monochromatic scheme. Now for me, I wanted mine to be a more natural skin tone, but I did not have a peach color. So I did use brown, but I was very careful not to press very hard. I kept all my values really light so that a lot of the white paper showed through, and that made it look more tan, like my skin tone. Whereas if you have brown skin, then you would just color like normal with that brown colored pencil. But it doesn't have to be a normal skin tone. It could be, you know, a wild one. It doesn't make any difference to me. So since I do think that that tan with the brown colored pencil is a little bit trickier, I just didn't have a peach, so I had to use the brown. Oh, I'm gonna sharpen it a little bit. Since I think that that's the harder one, and that's the one that I'm gonna demonstrate for you. All right, so what I like to do is I like to start with the darkest. So I'm gonna start by pressing relatively light, and that is my darkest color, because I want everything to be on the tan side. So then from here, I'm gonna lighten my pressure with my pencil as I move down. Now you might find that you get to this point and you think, oh, what am I gonna do? I can't press any lighter. If that's the case, you can go backwards and add a little bit more and darken them up to give you a little bit more space to work. And then you can press lighter. Now I know that on the camera, these last couple really light ones don't show up very well, so you'll have to take my word for it that they're there. Just the lighter you can make these last ones, the better. That'll give you a better range for your drawing. And then this is a good opportunity to practice those values before you have to jump into trying to do it on a portrait. Okay, that's it for day 1. Good luck, guys.